This is Kicking. Thank you all for coming in tonight. Where could we start? Let's start with the rehearsal space. So when I came to the rehearsal space, y'all had 8 songs. How did we get to those 8 songs? Because I know y'all have way more than 8 songs.
We do.
Yeah.
Those 8 songs, I think, started a year and a half ago.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, some of them were from
the very
the
beginning.
very, very
Well,
beginning.
that's true. We have one song on the record that is the first song that Bobby and JD ever worked on as the original incarnation of Kicking.
Was it Kicking at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been. Basically, those 8 songs started because we just didn't stick, like, with our original idea to record, like, as we went.
Mm-hmm.
We wrote, like, once it was the 5 of us, we wrote so many songs.
Yeah,
so
fast.
quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so quickly that we were just like, oh shit, we have. So we had like more songs than we realized, and like we were writing so quickly and finishing these songs that we had 8 songs. We wanted like 4 songs, and then we wanted like 6, and then it was like, oh shit, we have 8 or maybe 9.
Whereas we
Yeah.
had always
Like-
discussed like only doing demos, EPs,
Yeah, we
3 to 4
never
songs
planned.
tops. Like
Turn and burn.
Yeah.
if we had vinyl, it was a 7-inch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was always meant to be like 2 to 4 songs, record, finish, like 2 to 4 songs.
Well,
2-4.
I mean, even when we brought you in that first time, we threw all those songs up on the board, and we were like, okay, Shell's gonna come in here, and we're gonna play him these 8 songs, and he's gonna tell us which 4 are good and which 4 are shit. And I think we can all see how that turned out.
Yeah, because I remember, actually, now that you mention it, I do remember that. Even down to, I think we were, like,
We
initially
didn't even
it was
have
like,
Spun for You. I don't
yeah.
think we even had Spun for You.
No, we had
We
that
did.
one.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
we did.
y'all played that one.
We had it. It was just
Yeah.
in pieces. Like,
But
yeah,
I just
that was
remember-
the
that was the
freshest.
last song.
I think part of the thing was, come listen and let's collectively
Yeah.
vote on what we should do as like maybe a 1 and 2 single kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just remember being in that space, and I'd seen y'all live before, but something specifically in that space that night. I mean, it's not like an incredible space, I gotta be honest, like from a sound standpoint. But
I've
there's
been in
a
bigger shithole shows.
yeah, okay. But it's what I mean by that is it's like kind of small. It's very loud in there, but that's what y'all are. Like the truest form of y'all is in that space. So there's just this like a raw emotion that I felt that first night, and every one of the songs had it, and like every song got me to the moment that I thought maybe we'd get like 3 or 4. It's really on me for not having done a bit more homework probably ahead of time, but I got to that moment in each song, and so like picking those 8 and then deciding to depart from the original plan, was that like a team meeting y'all had, or like
I mean,
how did we get to that
No,
point?
I don't think so. Like, we had those 8, 9, really, honestly, all of this started long before we actually started recording.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember you and I met over a year before we even started recording. Like, you and I met, and it was like, we talked about that we had these songs that were kind of like all coming together. We had 6 or 7 songs at that point, maybe 8. And we weren't there at that point. We were still kind of writing. We thought we would maybe record ourselves, or like maybe try and do this thing that would be like, yeah. And so I think by the time we all were ready, we all kind of took the time to play the songs so much that we knew exactly what was going on in every song. We were like, okay, we should bring someone in.
Mm-hmm.
We should bring someone to like hear this.
They were all written in a specific period of time, so it
Yeah.
makes sense that like all of those songs that we wrote during that period fit together in
Yeah.
one time capsule, and it was kind of like to the point where it was like, if we're gonna do a full length record, we have it now. Let's do it now
Yeah.
instead of waiting. And
the prospect of figuring out how to split these up.
That was the
always
hard one too.
to think about, because like.
And we did that. We did. We sat down and we said, okay, like this song with that song with this, and like none of it ever would get comfortable.
Well, and like the weirdest thing is every time we did it, it always ended up looking like a side A and side B of a record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every time.
Any time we would always put together these songs.
That's how we felt we'd been sequencing it after we
Yeah.
That was the biggest point, is like, I think we as a band work where when we have so much time, like if we take that time, it ends up flowing together. Where if like we don't like punctuate it and say like this and that, like, or these 3 songs, or those 2 songs, or this song, like we end up writing and just writing and writing and writing and writing, and it punctuates itself of every song is flowing into the next. And that's kind of the way we work. That's kind of the way we've worked since the beginning.
As this lineup,
As this lineup,
We write until we tell ourselves, like, we need to stop.
Honestly.
It's not just that. It's that we write in the same voice.
That's
until
true.
we tell ourselves to stop, or until we tell ourselves
I'm
need
bored
to
with
change.
this. I need something else.
Like we need to change and do something else.
Yeah.
Because the next thing we write and record is not going to sound like this thing.
I've heard some of that.
Yeah.
It's really awesome too.
We wrote some new stuff the other night too.
Well, maybe after this we can. Hear some of that.
I feel like this is also different, not in just the fact that it's full length, but that we've actually had time to develop on all these songs, because we have like Carbon Live sessions, like some of my, that's one of my favorite demos that we have. Like Us Live is my favorite. That's how I feel at home. Not until this have I liked, as much any recorded versions of Us, because it just doesn't have that energy usually.
It's hard to capture.
But I feel like with our demos, like our shorter EPs, like we've just recorded early on and then we always develop more. But this one we had time to kind of sit on it and rehearse it and play it for a lot of shows, which I think is really important for how we end up recording, is we need to play it out and like
even the
just
songs,
improvise, because Burns is not going to play what he plays 100% the same every time. It's going to be how it feels.
All our EPs sound different now. Like some of that stuff that we've got up, it sounds so much better in a live setting now. Like Unkind, The Haunt, like that stuff.
Those songs have
Like
continued to
They
develop.
have continued to
for us, it
develop in a
feels
very
bigger,
positive
better.
way.
We're just the kind of band that like, and honestly, like nothing against like what we've done here, but like we continue to try and honestly, like, no bones about it. Like, we get bored with our music, I think.
Yeah, we continue to hone and
like,
kind of, like,
we try and
shift
just,
some
like,
things.
keep making it interesting. So, like, even the stuff that we've recorded here, like, we're not going to play it the same way live. Like, tomorrow, if we played Spun, for example, like, we're not going to play Spun exactly, like, to the T.
Right.
We're not that band, and we've never been that band, and that's never been the point of this band.
Right.
Is like what we record is going to be really interesting, and we're gonna take.
It's like a snapshot of where the song was.
Yeah, it's a
in
good
that moment.
representation of the band. But the
And
live sound.
It's
is
also gonna
where
be
we
really
are
like.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, not to like put any extra praise on you, but like we tend to feed off of the people that we're working around. So.
For better or worse.
When we feel comfortable around someone, that's right. Like when we feel comfortable around someone,
we have all those nude sessions. I mean, you gotta be comfortable.
So the majority of the sessions were nude, but
I mean, you don't want to turn on the AC. You
sign
gotta make it work.
But like, the recording sessions we've had before have been great, but like, we tend to take our time and try and expand on something as much as we possibly can. And when we have the freedom to explore that, like we did here, it's really cool because I think we get the most out of the song.
That was something y'all iterated to me that was like important, was that we experiment with bass tones to get, because a lot of times a bass will get like a DI signal and that's it. But for us, I mean, there's
fuck that shit.
We didn't want any single instrument to sound sterile or like I personally didn't want anything to sound like, not that DI sounds bad, like if
you want that special crunchy.
I needed that
crunch.
crunchy big dick energy, like for the
Yeah.
entire record.
Yeah.
Like even
if
when
your
we're
fucking
being
band
pretty.
uses DI, that's cool. You're fucking lame, but like whatever.
This is
Like,
kicking. I mean, come
I
on.
mean that's fine. Like we only have like
My bass player has more pedals than your guitar player. Like, go fuck
our
yourself.
bass player has more
High five on that, 'cause that's kind of
Legacy.
cool.
Our
I'm
bass
just
player
saying,
has more
we're
pedals than
ridiculous.
most fucking bands. Like, that's our bass player. That's not even getting into us. Like,
So
I
I
mean,
think
that
the
doesn't
most,
make me a good bass player. That just means
Hey,
the
I'm
bass
really
is
great at
rocking.
hiding shit.
we have like one song where I think there's maybe 6 tracks of bass.
That sounds right.
yeah.
That sounds like something we do.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys love it. And when all the boys are putting it in the subs in the car,
Oh my god, thank
The
you for
cars
bringing
will fall
your
apart.
milkshakes to this
that's
yard,
right.
girl.
You guys can all thank me.
We fucking approached this from like, okay, but can you put it in the subs?
Indeed.
Like,
I needed an El Camino to go like this to spun the Oh Shit
Just-
remix.
I mean, I guess in all seriousness though, like when it comes to the way we wanted this record to sound, I mean, for me personally, like the records that are memorable to me in this style with like the kind of energy we're trying to put out have that sort of like assaulting sonic quality to it where like everything sounds fucking huge, like you're standing right next to that amp right then.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And that was something we really wanted to do, and that's why part of why we wanted to spend so much time on it. We really put in that like that patient energy into it where like we were going to record 6 fucking bass tracks if that's what it took.
Yeah.
You know, we were
Yeah.
going to
I love that you said that, because I think the whole project long, I was trying to make sure that we got to that feeling of y'all in that rehearsal space that I had in that first night. Because in my head it was like, this record is perfect if someone else can listen to it and experience what I experienced in that rehearsal space that night.
I think we were probably like maybe a little harsh on you, just from like.
Hey, we gave him
I
earplugs.
was like, hey, let's record another track, and you're like, okay, and I'll record something, and I'd be like, okay, give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna plug in like 2 more pedals.
And do
Let's
it again.
record another track. And you're like, do you need to record another? It's like, yeah, let's record another track.
We need
like,
all
let's
the
take another.
fucking tracks.
Like,
How many
let's
times
do a
did Shell
track
need to
just
say,
to get the
but
guitar,
why don't
like
we just listen
the
back real
scratch.
quick? Real
Let's-
quick, just one little listen through.
We
and then
maxed out the number of tracks you can have in a Logic session.
Yeah.
Really?
No, we didn't. I wish
Oh,
we did. That would have been really cool.
You motherfucker.
All right, turn the cameras off. Like, let's
We're
get
not
the
done
ants.
yet.
Like,
Yeah,
let's get the
do
ants.
this.
Start over.
Like we, it was kind of that thing, like where once we started talking about like frequencies and sonic wise, like about okay, this is gonna be in this, like the guitars are actually starting to kind of get into the cymbals, or like maybe the bass is kind of getting too close to the kick drum. It was almost like we don't care. We want. Well, yeah, I mean,
No, we don't.
no, we
Super
didn't
accurate.
care.
No.
Like, it was more like, hey, I'm sorry, this is getting too close to that, but like, you have to deal with it. We have to record this. We have to have this wall of sound. We have to have these guitars. Like, they have to be this loud. And like the vocals, I'm sorry, have to come down, or like the kick drum has to come up. But like, we can't take a lot away. Like, because if we do that, we don't sound like us.
Right.
I don't like to say vocals down. I like to say like Bobby's vocals melt more into the sonic frequencies that we're creating, and that's what's I think unique about the sound, is that's what we were looking for.
Right.
Less pop vocal forward, more like vocal is truly an instrument in this, you know.
It's
It's
In
another
this symphony that you played in 11.
it's a continuous. That's the thing about being in our rehearsal space, is like the vocals only have one point. Like, there's not a lot of speakers putting out vocal. sound. So when you hear us in our space, or like when you hear us live, the vocals are mixed very present and very mono. So you get this wall of sound from our instruments, and then the vocals are just kind of one point. It's not
on
like,
that wall, like they're a
Yeah.
part of that wall.
Yeah.
I feel like
part
if
of
you
that
were...
wall. They're
Oh, sorry.
No.
You go ahead. I'm sorry, friend. That was rude. I just was going
And
to
that's
say
how
real
good
quick.
bands work.
While I was, but then you go on anyways.
Fuck you!
piece of shit.
Hey, why don't you
You
shut your
fucking
money
talking.
making mouth?
Shut fucking talking.
Yeah.
Like, these guys have to go home.
If you were, so if you were to listen through Spun, like, you know, that's one of our 7-minute songs or whatever. If you were to click
One
through,
of.
if you were to click through like different parts of the track, there would be a different instrument, whether that be vocals, my guitar, his guitar, bass part, like Henry's doing some cool things
fuck
on the
me,
cymbals
right?
or the toms. Okay, well, as I was saying it, cool. Give me a chance, friend. There's going to be a different part featured in that. We're all
Yeah.
going to drop out, and it's going to be feedback and Bobby and like really gentle. You know what I mean? And we come back into it, and bass comes into it. Like we want to feature a different part. It's not going to sound unilateral throughout everything. Like we highlight different parts.
That's actually how we write.
It is.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that too.
I mean, we work for the song. That is like, so Kicking has always been kind of a pop band. That has been our mindset. That's been not necessarily the way we view like tone or genres are completely irrelevant nowadays, but like the thing about this band is that we write from a pop standpoint, and that basic idea is what is best for the song. So that's instruments coming in, coming out, vocals coming in, coming out, dynamic changes, shifts. But that's the thing, is like what is right for the song.
Yeah.
No one is trying to stand above anyone else.
If you write a sick part, I'm like, what can I do under that part to make that part stand out? Like, I'm like, that sounds awesome. What can I do to back you up?
No one wants to overshadow the other person.
Yeah.
Whether that be a drum part and vocals and bass, whether that be a guitar solo, we try and approach it from where is this song going? What is the song's structure? What is the feeling and the idea behind the entire song? And what makes it the best it can be.
And that's kind of the cool thing about our writing process is that it is such a collaboration. Like there's no one single writing force. We all come up with parts or come up with things. We decide collectively where to go with things. So there's never one person who's
Do
like
you all
the lead.
collectively weigh in on like the lyrics or as well, or is
No,
that
we
like
leave
Bobby's
that.
instrument?
We leave that. That's Bobby's.
That's all I got.
Stop it, Bobby. No, you
I don't-
contribute.
You
to
kill it.
I don't
You do
provide a
excellent.
lot here,
Yeah.
but that's
Bobby
what I got.
contributes to the song structure, but she's
Yeah.
the lyricist for this band. She writes the lyrics and creates the
She
wonderful
writes
magic that is Kicking.
Well, the thing is that no one necessarily tells another person what to do with their instrument, but we all write trying to keep the other person in mind. And the thing about Bobby is like her vocals, we all kind of follow suit, whether it be a melodic thing. Spun is actually a great example because the rhythm behind Spun could be as long or as short as it needs to be based on what she sings.
Yeah.
And her vocal melody against my guitar melody, like what I play against what she sings in the second verse, could change. It could have changed. It could have been longer, could have been shorter, could have been different, but we decided to make it a certain length based on what you sing.
Yeah.
Based on like how you wrote those lyrics. And like that's my thing is I'm not trying to be that guitar player that wants to fucking solo and like shit all over a song. I
We
don't
just
care.
want you to.
So
So.
I'm just like
So
There's
many
one or
guitar
two songs
players.
where
Yeah,
you know,
just
So,
where
no,
we need
that's
it.
fine,
But
but like once in a while. But like
I mean, we had to
I
fight
would
him to do that.
No,
know.
I would so much rather have the vocals shine through than have a stupid guitar solo. The world has enough stupid guitar solos. I would rather have a great song.
fuck you. I want our own stupid guitar solo.
We have our own stupid guitar solo.
We have stupid guitar solos, but like I would so much rather hear like a cool song.
So can I ask this then? So for the melody,
Mm-hmm.
Bobby, are you playing off of the other instruments when, or how does that come to you?
I don't know. I usually, once the four of them start going, I can hear it in my head.
It comes really
Yeah,
fast.
I'm
That's awesome.
at least a line or a hook that I can build around, whether it's a verse or a chorus. And as the progresses towards the end, I can kind of tell what direction I want to go and
'Cause a lot
what
of
it's
these-
about. I don't usually know what the song's about until I'm done with it. I don't start out knowing.
I feel like I totally hear that. It's cool to hear you say that because the lyrics sometimes don't even follow a traditional like structure per se. It's almost like you're letting the song even lead the melodies
Yeah.
that you come up with.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah.